still not, I feel like I still need to veer off a little bit, but like to the side when there's other dogs and people, it's been okay, but I just...
Yeah. Everybody's progress going to be different.
Yeah.
Okay, don't stress out about 3 or 4 weeks. When you're ready.
A little bit farther. Yeah.
Yeah. When you're ready.
Yeah.
And the muzzle helps a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you been walking with it now?
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes?
Not all the time, but...
Okay. What times are you not walking?
More so for like when I know we're not actually going for like a long run. Like
Sure,
just
like
up
a
and down
quick
the block
run.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Gotcha. All right. So what we're going to do today is, with this exercise, it's really simple. I don't worry. Everybody wants the, like, our dogs are playing at the end result.
Yeah.
It's not realistic. What I'm going to show you is a real simple way to introduce him with dogs.
Okay.
That's more, what's the word, natural to him.
Okay.
Because dogs aren't meant to meet face to face.
Right.
It's very confrontational. Okay, that's how humans meet. I
Yeah.
or you. Dogs don't do that. They greet nose to butt. So when I see people and their dogs, because they walk like this,
Yeah.
it's usually face to face, which
Yeah.
is the reason for the confrontation.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do today is just get them used to coexisting with Gucci over here,
Okay.
and progressively closing the gap.
Okay.
So what we'll most likely do is it'd be Ollie, you,
Okay.
Bree, and then Gucci.
Like walking like that?
Correct, right?
Okay.
So we're going to do parallel just walking. We're going to walk around the park and stuff,
Okay.
and we're slowly going to just bring Gucci over
Okay.
until, in the end, ideally you want to have them walking both side by side.
Okay.
And each time we're making that transition, we're watching Ollie. What's his behavior like?
Yeah.
And you might find once you bring Gucci here, so Ollie is here, right?
Yeah.
His hackles go up.
Yeah.
That tells you he's uncomfortable. So
Okay.
we're at a threshold here.
Yeah.
It's okay. We, correct it if we need to. We keep moving. Another 5-10 minutes. See if we can bring Gucci a little bit closer to this side, but spaced apart. So then it'd be, you, Ollie, a gap, Gucci, and then Bree.
Okay.
And then see how he feels about that, and then slowly just close that gap. Okay. During this process, if he has a moment, keep moving,
Okay.
keep walking. Okay.
Okay.
When you stop, if he becomes aggressive, you're allowing him to become more aggressive. Okay, so it's kind of like a muzzle conditioning. It's on their face, and I'm walking, we're fighting it, I keep walking, remoting, don't do one thing at a time, okay? Should he become reactive or aggressive in any way, always straight up, never up and back or straight back, okay? Any questions? So what we'll do is we'll just keep it on the outside to make our lives easier, okay? Just head off this way.
Start going this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I'll put the screen on what we're doing now.
Okay.
You get the backpack though?
Yep.
Cool. All right, ready. So what we're gonna do?
Do you want me to wait for her?
Yeah, we can start walking, and then we'll catch up to you.
Okay.
We're walking already.
Okay.
So what we're gonna do here is gradually ease Ollie into reading Gucci. As we approach from the back, what I'm gonna have you do is switch Gucci to your right side, okay, and then shorten your leash a bit so you have a bit more immediate control. And we're just
Going this way?
yeah, we'll go down this path and then we'll make a left turn left here. We're just trying to get right here. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see the kids. We're gradually gonna move Gucci closer and closer as we go along the walk. And we're just keeping an eye on Ollie to see what his behavior's like, how he's feeling about it, and then see what we end up with. How old is he? Oh. And then once we make this left here, we'll speed up and then I'll have you walk next. Now it's going to turn in and out. You're going to touch to the left, shall we? You'll touch to the right. If we need someone to step off, Shelby, you step to the left so people can go through whatever. That's probably the easiest. All right, so. Much slower than what people typically do. You know, it's kind of like, hey, let's meet up and have our dogs just say hi or whatever, or already have them playing and stuff. And when we get a guy like Ollie with kind of that anxious, nervous energy, it's too much too soon. Okay, so we have to get a bit slower. And this is much more realistic and easily doable because he would see Gucci again, right? And like that's why I don't like dog parks really, unless you have a completely just carefree dog, whatever. Because dog parks have so many variables in terms of personality types. And then when you walk in and get all the dogs to create and all that stuff, a lot of dogs don't do well with that. So here, we're getting Ollie used to the presence of Gucci. And in my theory, like building a relationship or a friendship. So like for humans, we do stuff together, you know? Like maybe you meet someone at school or you meet someone at work, you start talking and then you realize you have common interests, you know? Maybe you guys do the same style of books, maybe you guys go to the same museums, you know, go to the same bars, restaurants, whatever. And you're like, hey, you wanna hang out? And then you go do stuff together. And then you just keep building that friendship. And as humans, we have like countless things to do with each other to build those relationships. Dogs are very limited. They eat, use the bathroom, sleep, walk, hunt if they could, play, and rest. Like 7 activities, right? So, resting, walking or traveling, and play are the relationship builders, okay? But play is kind of, you know, that's the end for a lot of dogs. Resting state works really well like after a walk. Like let's say you guys go for a walk with each other, maybe go to a Starbucks, and you have them across from each other, like, you know, 6 feet or whatever, because they're social distancing. And as they're resting together, he's going, oh wow, like, you know, I've met Gucci a few times, nothing bad's ever happened. He's not pressuring me to be social by like sniffing me and all that stuff. And that's crossing my boundaries. It's a lot slower, okay? And you know, we might see it by the end of the day, or we might see it by the end of 20 times, or 100 times, okay? Or you may not. But this will allow you to approach this one. So like let's say Gucci, he opens up, comes up to her, friends her. You have another friend with your dog, right? Same thing. Then you have to come to energy. So like for Gucci here, is this like her personality type? So this personality type for him is good. More laid back, more subtle, higher energy, more excitable, very, very playful, you know, puppy type energy. Anxious dogs tend not to like it. Okay. So like let's say you try to get another friend's dog, and that dog is that type of energy. Okay. It could take longer before he accepts them, or it doesn't accept them. They don't vibe with that energy, right? Just like the people do. So the more you use with them, you may find that you'll start to have a faster turnaround. Okay? Where it's like it takes, you know, 20 walks with Gucci, and the next dog is like 15 walks, and 10 walks, and the next thing you know, it's like, oh, after a few walks with the dog, he befriends them, and he's good. Okay? But now we have different contexts. So when I do this stuff, I like neutral territories. That's always a little bit variable. So when we stop today, we'll see how he does, and see if we can intermingle and meander a bit. Okay? And then see if he's sniffing her and all that stuff. But let's say, you know, you befriend Gucci and you go to a friend's place and they have a young, and they can be completely loose. Everything's going fine. And then Ollie's laying at your feet, but then Gucci runs over to you and says hi. That would be a potential problem. Okay? Because just because he accepted her in a loose setting where it's like, okay, cool, you know, we're fine, because there's no kind of territory here. But once he's next to you, you're technically a territory, right? So you have your own space, and he decides to resource guard, then you're going to see issues. It doesn't mean he's not friends with her. It just means friends with her to a point, exactly. So people tend to take it as, oh, the dog's made progress. Everything's perfect. And I go, no, you got to watch a lot of those contexts.
Yeah, she always tries to walk on my left side.
Or she'll be walking your left a little bit. Once we get to the end of this here, we're going to bring her over to the left side. So yeah, so the contexts are typically like if a dog enters your personal space and he's there, possibly when he's not there, so where dogs will look and say like, hey, why are you walking towards my owner, and they'll charge over, you know? If there's a resource like water or something, if there's a ball, maybe a change in energy. So like they go in the yard, they're just wrestling with each other, you know, kind of walking around, sniffing stuff, and all of a sudden maybe Gucci decides, let me zoom around. And he goes, whoa, I was fine with you until you started zooming around. Exactly, right? So there's variables in it, okay? But that's what, again, the muzzle for allows us to do all these things safely, really kind of reduce that anxiety. And what I tell everybody to do is to just be aware. Okay? I don't want to be paranoid, but just be aware. So when I have dogs together, if I have a dog that I don't know, I just automatically assume stuff. I assume they're a resource guarder. I assume they might be territorial over people's spaces. I assume they might guard our dog bed. You know, all these things. And when I see those contexts where I see maybe the dog drinking water and another dog walking by, I kind of see it on my peripheral range, and then I'll look, so I have good focus, and I'm watching everything. So if I see any tension start to build or whatever, I can address it, and then I know, oh, this dog will guard water. Okay? And it's something that I do all the time. It's not like you do it until he's fine and then you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
Because he can, just like people, you might feel one way about one thing today, could be different tomorrow.
Yeah, so with the resource guarding thing, like when he goes to my dad's house, right, all three of those dogs are kind of the same bowl. But when he goes to my mom's house, he doesn't like to drink on the same bowl with her. So I would give you that it.
What's the energy? Is it the same energy type?
So one of my dad's dogs is like very high energy, like they're very laundry, they play all the time.
Okay.
The other one is like very chill, very sad, and
Sure.
and then my mom's dog is kind of to play.
Sure.
That end, like she's playing, she's really bad.
Okay.
So I don't know, it's kind of a mix.
I want to hear when at 3, I'll have you bring food sheet to the left side. Okay. I'd have to see it, you know. It could be possibly a respect factor. It could possibly be just something like the energy, the scent, you know. That is not, I would say, a very common question.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why would this
Well,
you gotta be
we were thinking, I don't know.
Yeah, the resource guarding stuff?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there could be a number, you know, any reason for it. I'd have to see it and like everything going on to have an idea. But if it hasn't posed a problem.
No, I mean, we know.
Oh, gotcha. Do you have other dogs, friends with dogs?
I do, yeah.
A little intervention for all in here. I think she's used to the phone.
Good.
And we'll bring Gucci over to the left here. Oh no, so you'll stay on the same side, but then now slide Gucci over to just the other side. So you see a little bit more head turning there, and you see a little bit. Okay? So that's what I'm looking for. That's not bad. Okay, because now he's panting again. He's open mouth. But that little movement there, anytime you change something, I'm looking at Ollie because I know he's the one that we're having to work with, right? He's my main focus. Whenever there's a shift in energy or a shift in positioning, I'm looking at Ollie and I'm going, how do you feel about that? He licked his lips, he moved his head a bit, he's like, yeah, it's been a movement, just getting a little bit closer. Yep, another lift there. Yep, a little quick head turn right there. Good. Held down, no hackles. Back to open up. I saw you remote a couple times, right? Right. So, all this is normal, okay? But this is why we do it. We do it step by step. Makes it easier for the owner to catch the little changes. The longer you go for the walk, the higher chance of success you're going to have, okay? So, you could trim this down to a 10 to 15 minute walk. Ideally, I like to do 45 to an hour because it's a nice length for an activity, again, to build that bond. Two, you're burning off some of that energy that he has, so he doesn't have so much physical energy to fuel the mental state. And then when you gradually bring him over, it's not so rushed. If you try to go to the next step too soon, he might have not resolved that previous tension, and the next thing you know, it builds up, okay? If things go south, like keep walking, correct them, go back to the step before, do that for another 10 minutes. Okay, don't be discouraged if things go south. It happens all the time for us, okay, as trainers. But I've learned how to move past it and not to, let it affect me and what I do with the dog. But owners, of course, take it very personally or,
Gigi, come on through.
Or they think it's never going to happen. I'm like, it's just one time. 1 time to 20, like it's nothing. So the other part of it is, let's see, at the moment you correct them, you're also teaching like, we're not going to allow that to happen. So he's learning what your boundaries are, what you allow, what you don't allow. So like right there when his head was turning too quickly, you said I remoted him. Correct. Yeah. Okay. Because he shouldn't be so, I didn't mind the look over, but he did look very quickly, multiple times. And then so I was like, yes, I was correct. Do you have any questions so far? About yourself, Brady, any questions? Pretty straightforward. Just walk the dog. So we'll end up doing at this end here, where we turned last time, is we will put Gucci back to the right, but then I'll have Bree come around over here to this side, but you'll give more gap.
So
Make sense?
me, dog, Bree, dog.
No, you, Ollie, Gucci, Bree,
Oh, okay.
but there's going to be a gap.
Okay.
We're going to put a big gap in the middle there, like 2 feet or so it's not immediately next to him, and then see how he keeps that. What's your number right now? That was the remote on or the? Gotcha. When we do the Zoom, I'll give you other things you can use to crack it up so you're absolutely dependent on the color. Things like barking out the window or whatever. For guessing stuff, you'll be using green color. So, what would you like to cover next? Yeah, so in the Zoom you don't have to wait a week. In the middle of the week it's
Yeah,
the next
actually,
step.
I do have.
Okay. that after you call, contact Maria,
Okay.
and you can set it up, and you can still keep your next class because it's just like supplemental, right? Anything that you want to cover within the home, make a list of it. I'm assuming you're going to cover like people coming over.
Yeah.
Okay.
So should I have someone there? Or like,
What I would do is plan for them to come like half an hour after the Zoom starts.
okay.
So it's more organic. Because when they're already there, we kind of practice it. They may not be attention. And then if you send me an email, remind me to send you a video to watch prior so you have an idea of what the exercise is. Yeah, no problem. Very simple. It's very simple. Okay? So we go back to the obedience stuff, and then I just check in on the house and going obedience, like, hey, friend, that's awesome. Keep doing that. Now, if you have a dog that's like more difficult than one to try with, then it would be worth doing this again. Otherwise, this exercise is pretty straightforward. Practice it, okay? We'll go ahead and bring Gucci back to the right side, and then shove it forward to the right, and then bring your arm to the left, and we're going to keep a little gap between the two of them. There we go. Close it a little bit, Rick. Watching the Ollie here. Steps in.
I'm not used to walking anymore. I'm locked in my house.
Good little lip lift in there. Not head turning, that's good. If you see Ollie going for a sniff, don't correct it.
Okay, like go.
Yeah. Sniff is curiosity. Okay. So anything that's social, we wouldn't want to correct. You might do it on accident because
Yeah,
you're
I just like.
yes, you're
like
expecting
ready to
the
go.
worst. Yes, it's normal. Okay.
Okay.
But that looked, because it was so slow,
Yeah.
it kind of looked like he was just checking out what was going on.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fine right there. That was just a glance. And it may have gone to a sniff if we keep it moving. Now, if you see him start to like tense up or stare, then you would kick in. That can sometimes happen, but it is not super common. So what we're gonna do is, I guess we'll start it now. I'm gonna have you keep going forward, Shelby, and then Bree. Do you mind if I handle? I'm gonna bring Gucci here and slowly approach as we're walking Gucci towards Ollie's rear. Okay. You might see him turn his head a bit. We're gonna feel it out. We'll see what happens. So we'll feel it out. I'll tell you tap. Okay. So Gucci, Finch is gonna go for a sniff here. Keep your pace. Yeah, watch Ollie here. Keep it moving. Right. Yep, keep moving. Good. So that's the nervousness coming through right there. And she's had her fill with sniffing. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna swap roles. I'm gonna get ahead of you, Shelby, and then you're gonna bring Ollie just like I did towards Gucci to see if you'll sniff her, okay? Good. There we go. Then we're gonna try reversing again. So then I'll have Gucci smell Ollie here.
It's a lot of nature.
Yeah, she's not happy.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's just fine. It happens all the time. It'd be nice if I could say go sniff, and then every dog would do it.
Not interested anymore.
We'll try with Ollie again.
Alright, where did we find the other one?
Where do we find the other kind?
She's like, I already smelled everything I need to smell.
That's Fuji.
Side by side.
You know, close that gap. Okay.
So she might bump him a little bit. Just kind of getting him used to just being around her being around his personal space. The gradual touching and stuff. Like if we glance, it's normal. We just don't want tension. Okay, so I wouldn't correct for the glancing unless we see it at the length or the good sense. But he keeps going back to open mouth, so all that's good. So we'll lift the thinner, back to open mouth. What we'll do is when we get up into that little shady area, we're going to step off to the side and let them rest and see if they'll like move a little bit. That's good. There's an awesome spot What's up? Yeah, right this way. Oh, spooky one.
Oops.
So we're not going to put them under command
I got you.
into any other command. You got to make my brain think about that.
Yeah.
May I see, please? So open mouth while she's stiffening is good. Like even stuff like this, you know, where they're just side by side, they're not really paying any attention to each other,
Yeah.
is something. Okay, people always want to be, you know, cuddly next to each other, trying to avoid the face to face. If I have to remove them, I try to always remove going left, like to the side. So ideally, when she went forward, I would want to pull him to deter him sideways,
Okay.
as opposed to going back, right?
Okay.
But instead, there I went up, and I try to bump him while I moved her out the way. And then I relax that tension, okay? Because of the face-to-face. It
Yeah.
could have been fine,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to avoid that tension there.
Okay.
And I think, honestly, if he did have any real issue with it, it would have been an immediate, or like there would have been
Right.
an immediate escalation.
Yeah.
But he's been keeping that mouth nice and open, panting. This is all good. See if I can get him to move together a little bit. here, it just allows me that immediate, if I have to stop him from doing anything, it's right away, as opposed to if you have it like this, again, you're all the way here, right? So I'm trying to keep this as slack as possible when I'm moving with them, but short, just in case things go south. I'm not worried about it. His little tail started wagging a little bit, so that was good. I'm going to get you back here for a second and give you this back for a second. So one thing in this setting is it feels good to have progress, right? Is I want you to keep your energy cold, okay? Good. That stimulation, okay? That's good. That stimulation, excitement can go anywhere. It can become aggressive, it become nervous, anxious, or fearful. So by us just being neutral, if there's going to be any change in energy, it's them, okay? Because if you invest energy into him, so kind of like last time I think it was with like his scooter or the dog or something, and you praised, and I was like, you know.
Oh no, that was with the dog.
The dog, yeah. And I was like, you're putting energy into him, and the passiveness is what's going to help him be calm, right? So, yep. You're okay. And then forward, and then forward again. Good. Bring him a little forward, and then have you anchor yourself.
Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, like that.
Okay.
So, because that was a change in energy, right? Because she kept jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping, and he was fine with it, and then it became like, this is too much. Okay, now on a scale of 1 to 10, for me that's like a 1, even though it was forward, it was very quiet. Earlier, before I forget, when she looked at him and they were kind of like this, there was no tension. He kept that open mouth. And then she moved away and he looked away and it was completely resolved. Okay, so that was good. So here, that moment, we correct it, okay, and then go back to where you were. Okay, so like if that happened with somebody else, they might correct the dog and then give space, but then the dog doesn't know how to handle that. Just what I mentioned earlier. He could be fine with Gucci if everything's passive, but the moment Gucci goes, he goes, whoa, this is too much, right? So in order to get him used to it, this is part of the process. He's here, she's being Gucci. If he has a moment, you correct him, and it's like, we're not going anywhere. And he's like, all right, well, because in their world, they monitor each other, right? We have cops, and we're not supposed to escalate things. We're supposed to call the cops. The cops are to come and arrest whoever needs to be arrested, right? Not in their world. In their world, if something happens that they don't like, they themselves correct it, okay? So technically, he's not doing anything wrong in his world, but obviously in our world, it doesn't transfer and it's not allowed. Okay. So, questions so far? In terms of progressing this, right? Is keep repeating, and then I'll have you guys do it yourself so you get used to handling them. It's just getting them used to coexistence. That's always the bare minimum. Just coexistence. You don't have to like her, but don't be a jerk with her. Okay? But don't be a jerk with her. Okay? That's always the minimum, and then we see what happens. If he starts to learn, like, okay, like, I'm not allowed to do this, and I can't do this, and there's corrections for this, he may start to open up and go, all right, well, I guess that just leaves being friends with Gucci. Or he might be like, you know what, fine, I'll listen to your rules, I won't do that again, but don't expect me to do that. I don't know how that's going to play out. Time will tell. Okay. I think he does have some. He's social. Right. It's just he has. He's not like the completely like she can go to the dog park, right? And it's like whatever. So like no issue, right? Him can be social, but there needs to be a little bit more involved. It's totally fine. Okay. Just want to make sure that we are aware. I don't want you to be paranoid. Then what's going to happen? I want you to be confident. There's two things. I want you to be confident in your skill set. I know how to stop it. I have a tool that will allow me to stop it. Okay? Good. Start panting. And then also confidence in him. Like, I think you're going to be a good, or I know you're going to be a good boy. And if you're not, I'm going to make you be. That's how I come into it thinking. Right? I go, all right. When I come into the dog's losing its marbles and they're going crazy and the owner's like, what do I do? I just come in, I'm like, I know we can make it happen. Next to make it happen. That's part of it. Okay. The next part of it's going to become comfort, where you just start to relax a bit more, and that comes with success.
Yeah.
Okay, knowing like, oh, it is possible. I just have to do a little bit more work for Ollie to succeed in that kind of social contact.
Yeah.
Okay, and not taking it personally if we have a negative experience. We correct it, we resolve it, we get them back to being as passive as possible,
Okay.
and then keep them in the context.
Okay.
If things go south and you remove him, the last thing he remembers is, I started lunging and barking, and I was removed from the situation I was uncomfortable in.
Yeah.
Win for me.
Okay.
And I go, nope, you're not going to do that crap.
Yeah.
And you have to stay here with that other dog that you had a problem with
Okay.
for another 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So then he thinks, all right, well, I tried it, didn't work, but then I also have to stay there for another 30 minutes. Okay. So the last thing when he sees that dog again, he picks up from is we were coexisting,
Yeah.
as opposed to I try to go after you. And I get that happen a lot, especially with dogs within the home that fight. I have a client that I'm gonna see later today. Exactly what happened. They got in a
Yeah.
fight. Now they can't see each other within the home. They have to have barriers up because they parted them and then didn't address the tension.
Right.
And now the last thing they remember is tension. So when they see
Right.
each other, it's constant triggers.
Yeah.
Okay? Questions about any of this stuff? Would you like to sausage? Would you like to try what I did there, just kind of getting them, I would say like meandering with each other?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do here is when it pass your remote over to your other hand, so it frees up, and you're gonna keep leash and remote in the same hand.
Oh.
Yeah. There you go. You got a good grip there?
Yeah.
Okay?
Is this
And-
enough leash or more?
That's good right there.
Okay.
Because remember, you want it short enough that if you pull up,
Yeah.
it's going to be an immediate contact, okay? And then what I'll have you do, Bree, is go ahead and just come around a wide turn, and you're going to pass off Gucci from the other side.
Oh, the salty.
Yeah. And then you're going to grab Gucci's leash higher, right? There you go. Now, when we do this exercise, I think it's best to always move backwards because it allows you to see the
Me
dog.
move backwards?
Correct.
Okay.
Because what you're trying to do here is get them to like just get him used to her moving around him.
Yeah.
And when you go backwards, it allows you to see all of, his hackles, his tail, his eyes, his face, all that stuff. As opposed to if you move forwards, they're going to be here, and it's going to be a lot harder to keep them in front. Okay. So I'll just have you. We'll come up this way to give her space, and you're just kind of moving a circular motion.
Okay.
You'll look kind of silly. Okay. You're going to have to let some things go.
Okay.
So if he goes to sniff her, your emotional response is going to be like, no, right?
Yeah.
But in order to learn to get over that, you
Yeah.
have to allow it to happen.
Okay.
If things go south, you simply straight up,
Okay.
tap, tap, tap,
Yeah.
resolve it,
Okay.
and try again.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay?
You have to get up.
Okay. We'll try moving backwards. There you go, like that. Yep, backwards. And you're gonna go backwards like in a circular motion. Okay? Yeah, and then keep moving. Put a little bit of pressure on Ollie.
Pressure
Yep.
on what?
On his leash.
Oh, the leash.
There you go. Right? And just keep moving. I know it's awkward.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Good. There you go. And then what you can do, like, you can shorten Gucci's leash, and then as you're moving backwards, you might be able to bring her like over to his rear, or closer into his hind end, to get him used to her being in his personal space.
Like this? In
Yep.
front of me? Is that okay?
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Okay, there you go. You got it, and then relax right there. Okay, good. And then you always want to, as best as possible, do either peripherals or your eyes on Ollie. Good. He's completely relaxed. He's panting. He's not tearing. Ears are back. Good. She's going to come a little closer to the front. Okay. This is where I would start to anticipate there might be some tension, but there's nothing there. That's good. Yep. Pull her in. Yep. We're watching Ollie. Yep. He turns his head a little bit. This is okay. He lifts his lip. That's okay. He's completely passive with the looking. He goes for a sniff.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
You're doing great, by the way. Okay, you're doing great. There you go. Ollie decides to sit. This is okay.
So bring Gucci to the back.
Yeah, try to bring her to the back again.
Trying.
And it's just
Yeah.
not all.
There you go, right there.
Protesting a little bit.
Right there.
Good. And then go ahead and relax your arms. There you go. Right. It doesn't look like much, but trust me, it's this simple. You build off of this. Okay? Good. Yep. A little quick head turn. It's okay. You good. Yep. And then you resolved it. You looked away. And I saw you reposition. That's all good, right? I would think your response was probably like try to correct it, maybe. Yeah. But you have to start giving trust back. Okay. And you give trust back by having control. Okay. This is the difficult part of training. Obedience stuff is easy peasy. It's just mechanical. Come when I call you, walk beside me, put your butt down, right? Awesome.
Right.
This is a lot more nuanced. Okay. How you feeling so far?
Good.
He's doing great.
Yeah, he actually is. I'm very surprised.
He's completely relaxed, right? But we did a lot of things to set him up for success. Okay. Now I get other dogs that it doesn't end like this, right? Where it's like they'll still go after the dog. No problem. Just keep repeating this exercise. Okay. One thing that's working at a disadvantage for us, it's not a huge deal, but is the harness. Because it gives you, it's harder to control Gucci, right?
I put it on her leash. I mean her.
On her flat collar.
Yeah, you want me to do that?
Can we try that, please? Because now you'll have more immediate control over both dogs. Okay. So the moving backwards is kind of awkward, right? And she's probably tired from the walk that we did as it is. So try it again. This should give you much more immediate leverage, but you will have to put a bit of oomph into it. You're not gonna, right? But enough to like make her go, okay, I have to move. With the harness, since it's on her body, she can really tuck back and put resistance on, which is making it difficult for you. Okay. Now, the other thing that we look at is not just the dog that we're working with here, but the dog that's helping us. Okay. So, I'm not picking this up right now, but like with my pit, Lexi, if I have her socializing with an antisocial dog, you'll see her like she's very awkward. Like she'll let you know like this dog does not want to be socializing with me right now, right? She's giving me feedback. And then once the dog opens up, you'll see her open up and she'll still be kind of cautious, but that's telling me like, oh, we're making progress here, okay? So as much as you're watching Ollie, watch the dog that you're working with, okay? If they look kind of awkward, if they look kind of suspicious, it means you're picking up something from his energy. It's okay, right? And then you keep repeating, you see them open up, that again is feedback for you, okay? I would try one more little walk around here.
The backward circle?
Yeah, and I would shorten a bit more with Gucci's leash here. Got it. There you go. And back. Yep. Pressure, 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 pressure on Gucci. Pressure, pressure. There you go. Good. Good. Ollie's like, what the hell's going on? That's good. Yep. Pull, 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 pull. You got it. Pull, 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 pull. There she goes. Pull, 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 pull. She's like, I better get paid for this. Here, pull, pull, pull. Right there. Look at that. Right there. Yeah, pause right there. Good. Bring her in right there. Yeah, right there. Good. Now try this. Go ahead and just crouch down. Okay. Now watch here. Careful. Okay. There you go. Good job. Now this way. Got it. Now relax your right arm. Pull. Good. Good. You got it. That's a nice block you got going on there like that. But I'm going to point out something. How you feeling?
Good.
Okay.
I just don't know if I should let them or not.
No, yeah, don't let the face-to-face, right? We want to, that's as they build more trust. Go ahead and tighten up on hers a bit more. Where that handle is closer. There you go, right there. Okay? So, I had you do that specifically for that. Now we're changing the energy. As soon as you went down, Gucci's like, hey, what's up, right? And then he's like, what's going on? And he's running this way. A lot of pros here. There was no tension any of those times, okay? Which is good. I'm just trying to avoid it because of it's just day one type of thing, right? So it's like somebody trying to kiss you on the first date when you're not ready for it. You're like, whoa, 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 we need a little more talk and maybe I'll kiss you, right? Same thing here. So I really like he didn't escalate because trust me, when it's gonna go very quick, okay? I like your positioning. You put your arm to body block there. first thing to always think about when you're going to try to close this gap and you see like you don't, like in that moment where she was able to come so far, is close to that collar.
Okay.
Right, you get as close to the collar, and that's going to give you immediate control. Because even though you pulled her back, she had that slack to return and keep returning, right? And then we let it go, okay? Not tensing up. I would have been surprised if you started correcting, because most people think, oh, so this is going to happen.
Yeah.
And then if you correct at the wrong moment, potentially you create something.
Yeah.
Okay? It's okay. It's part of the process, right? Watch. Yep. Good. Right. Good. You're handling it just fine. Good. Great to see. And then he lets it go. Okay? Because he's not, I'm assuming, not used to, because he just meant
He probably
Gucci,
doesn't
right?
like me by her.
By her, you know, there's a lot of intimate space going on. She moved very quick where she kind of spiraled, and he was like, whoa, what was that? And that moment was like at least 3 to 5 seconds of him licking his lips and kind of going, all right, what is this? Let it go, turned off, ignoring it, not caring about the situation anymore. Okay? That's exactly what I want to see here. Questions? Excellent. Here, I'll take Gucci for you. And here you are. Thank you. Very good. Decompress, let it go. Okay. So your homework with this stuff is practice as much as you can. Okay. If you guys did like a walk 3 times a week, like that'd be awesome, right? What you'll start to see and what you're looking for is when he sees Gucci, like if there's dogs that are already he's friends with, and the way he greets them, you're looking for that.
Okay.
Where like she's coming and you're walking up the sidewalk and you just see Ollie like this.
Yeah.
He's loosening up, right? Now don't jump into, hey, he's great, here we go.
Yeah.
It's the same process.
Okay.
And then little by little, I start to do this less and less until eventually it's like, yeah, he's good. They're friends, okay? I take things much slower for the owner.
Yeah.
Okay, I can move very quickly, but I don't want you to lose any confidence, you know, in case something doesn't go as planned and stuff like that. Okay. So your homework, if you can repeat this, do so. If you have other dogs you can repeat this with, do so.
Okay.
If it doesn't look like it's progressing as smoothly as it did today, I would just keep it where you're at.
Keep the walking.
Yeah, exactly. And then you part ways, and he goes, okay, like I saw that dog, but I didn't have to say hi.
Yeah.
Like that helps him out.
Okay.
He's not forced to be social, you know, if he's not feeling it.
Right.
And we keep repeating that.
Okay.
The exposure is great and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And over time, you'll get back to this point, okay?
Okay.
Longer walks are ideally better.
Yeah.
Do what you can.
Okay.
Keep practicing the homework that you've had prior. You talk to Maria, and if you remember, please shoot me an email, because we're booked to like 8 today or something like that.
Okay.
So I'll forget to email you the video, but it'll prep you for the Zoom, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very welcome.
Thanks, Bree.
Yep, no problem.
I'll talk to you later.